recording. Okay, so we're just going over some problems here, and I'm looking on page 19. It's in 1-4 really, in the book, page 19. And so, so when you multiply a whole number by a fraction, you just simply change it to a fraction itself by putting 1 underneath it. And then you just multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 100 is
100.
And Mr. Long had it correct. And the next one, you just change it again to a fraction by putting 1 underneath it. And then you multiply straight across. 57 times 1 is 57. 1 times 1,000 is
1,000.
Mr. Long had it correct. And then the next one, change it into a fraction. 279 over 1 times 1 over 1,000. And you end up with 279 over 1,000. Put up 10 points, Mr. Long. Nicely done. Okay. Anybody confused about what I just did? Okay, so you guys all understand that now. Okay, that's good. Let's look at. I'm looking at number 4.
Wait, are you talking to
Am I talking on the video right now?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Edit that.
Okay, so this is page 19, and I'm looking at number 4. And number 4, it has in parentheses 2 times 1, and then it has plus, and then in parentheses 6 times 1 over 1,000. Now I know 5 minutes ago you guys would have struggled with that one, but now it probably looks kind of easy. Okay, so let's see here. Mr. Spears, what's 2 times 1?
2.
So that's 2 plus. And then you could, if you need to write this on the side here to do the work, you can. Or maybe you could just do it in your head. What do I need to do to solve this problem right here? What's the first thing I need to do? Can I multiply 6 by 1 over 1,000?
Yes.
Yeah, what do I do?
So below it you will put 6 and 1.
Right, so I'll just put a 6, and then I put a 1 underneath that, which changes this into a fraction, which is what I want to do, because then I can multiply 2 fractions together. Times, that stays the same, 1 over 1,000. Okay, now what, Mr. Spears?
And then you multiply those together and you get 6 over 1,000.
Nicely done. Okay, so now I have 2 plus 6 over 1,000. Okay, and I'm not sure if they're having you reduce these, or they're bothering with that. No. So this would be 2 and 6 over 1,000. Now, how would I write just this part? Mr. Spears, I'm going to keep picking on you. Let's just look at that 6 over 1,000 for the moment. How would I write that in decimal form? Do you remember?
Yeah, so you put a decimal,
Okay.
2 zeros,
Nice.
and then a 6.
Well done. Put up 10 points. Okay. So he just showed us how to convert that into a decimal. Okay. So now the final way to write it would be 2.006, because those are the same. 2 and 6 over 1,000 is the same thing as 2.006. Okay? How about, let's see here. Everybody, let's look at number, that was number 4. Let's look at number 5. And so number 5 is 3 times 1 in parentheses plus 3 times 1/10 plus 9 times 1 over 1,000. All right. Let me see here. Miss Ruggerberg. So 3 times 1 is what?
3 times 1 is 3.
That's easy, huh? So 3 plus. Now, 3 times 1/10. How would I write that in decimal form? Or actually, how would I solve that?
You would go 3 times 1 is...
Well, 3, okay, so first put a 1 underneath the 3 times 1/10. Okay,
And it would be
3 times,
on the top and 10 on the bottom.
good, okay. Now we have 3/10. Still not done. Now how do I convert that to a decimal?
You put that, it's 0.3.
Nicely done. Put up 10 points, 0.3. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to put a decimal, 0.3. Okay. And Miss Ruggerber, I'm going to keep picking on you here. Now we have 9 times 1 over 1,000. So I need to multiply those together. So it's 9 over 1 times 1 over 1,000.
Be 9 on the top and 1,000 on the bottom.
Yeah, good. But we're still not done. Now what do I do? How do I put that in decimal form?
It would be 009. Well, 0.00.
Excellent. Nicely done. So I can put that over here, 0.009. Okay? Nicely done. So, let's see here. Where was I? So how would I add those up? Miss Ruggerber, I'm going to keep picking on you. How would I write that? Do you know?
It would be 3 plus... Wait.
You guys remember how to add decimals? Some of you? Let's look here for a moment. Let me move this up a little bit, give us some more room.
Wait, what did it be? Wait, the last one would be if you add 3 plus 9.
Well, we're adding up these 3 right here, so this is what we do. I'm going to put 3.00 because that's the same thing as that. And then I'm going to put a 0.3, and I'll just go ahead and put a 0 and a 0 there as kind of a placeholder. Okay? And that's the same as that one. And then I'm going to put a point, I'll put a 0 there, a point, and then what do we have here? 009. And I'll go ahead and put another 0 there as a
It
placeholder.
would be 9 would be the last one.
Okay, and I'm going to add these together. So 9 is the last one, as you said. What goes here?
0.
Yeah, it's going to be 0. What goes here? 3.3. So that would be the final answer for that. Well, there's a lot of work for that one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, and they just kind of threw you to the wolves there, and they really didn't go over any of those. And I think we need to do some more like that. how many of you, like I did just right here, how many of you remember how to add decimals and line them up properly? So 2 or 3. So let's go over that real quick too. All right, so I'm going to put down a couple problems and I want you guys to do them. Actually, I'll do one for starters here. If I had 2.01 plus 50.2 plus 1.003 plus 0.0501. How many, raise your hand if you remember how to set that up and add those together? So one, only one of you. Okay, well that's something we need to go over then. So when you add up decimals, the most important thing to remember is you keep the decimals lined up. Okay? So I'm going to start with the 2.01, and I'm just going to put down 2.01. All right? And then I'll start, next one will be the 50.2. So I'm going to move the 5 over here, because that's going to be the tens place, and a 0.2, and I'll put a 0 there to kind of keep things nice and neat. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm keeping the decimals lined up. And so the next one, 1.003. So I'll put a 1 right here, decimal, and then it's 003. And I'm going to put a 0 here and a 0 here now, just as kind of placeholders so I don't get confused. And gosh, I've about run out of colors here. And so the last one here, 0.0501. So it's going to be a 0.0501. And so I'm going to add another couple zeros. And I could add a 0 there. Okay, and I'm going to add these up. My decimals lined up. I can go ahead and just drop my decimals straight down. So I'll start with the column on the farthest right. 0, 0, 0, and 1 is 1. And then I'm going to do this column here. 0, 0, 3, and 0 is 3. And you can see that I'm really trying hard to keep things lined up, because this is where you guys will make mistakes. If you write really sloppy and you're not keeping things lined up, you're going to make a mistake. Okay, next column, 1 and 0, 0, and 5, that's going to be 6. And then this column here, right before the decimal, is a 2. And now we're in the ones place. 2 and 1 is 3. And 5 is all we have here. So there's your answer, 53.2631. Okay, raise your hand if you now remember how to add up decimals. Okay, so most of you remember it now. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we should do a few problems like that and then jump more into this lesson, because again, they're assuming there's some things that you guys know that you're probably kind of rusty on.